News for people who can't stand the news.
Boko Haram. Boko Haram. Now, you remember when this made national headlines after a little bit of prodding, right? A little bit of prodding. People started talking about Boko Haram, which is a terrorist organization. Uh, they're all over different parts of the world, but I know for a fact Nigeria, right? So a couple years back, you remember there was a group of girls that were kidnapped, and there was a movement going on, bring the girls back, bring our girls home. Michelle Obama, First Lady, famously held up a sign that said, bring the girls back. All right, so that created a groundswell of attention to the issue. Well, one of the young women that was taken 2 years later has been found. So let's go with that. The title is First Missing Chibok Girl Freed After 2 Years is a Boko Haram Prisoner. One of the more than 200 Chibok girls, or Chibok, I think it's Chibok, girls, schoolgirls kidnapped by Boko Haram was finally free after more than 2 years as a prisoner of the terror group. Nigerian military officials reported this, and witnesses say. Military officials and locals gave different accounts of how she was liberated. Nigeria's army said she was rescued by army troops, while a witness spoken to by CNN said the girl wandered out of the Sambisa forest in the northeast of the country, along with her child and husband on Tuesday night. So there's a little disconnect between what the military folks are saying and what witnesses are saying happened. I think I'll go with the witnesses. Just a thing I do. Tend to side with the people as opposed to the establishment. But let's keep going. The Sambisa forest, believed to be the terror group's stronghold, has long been a suspected location of the girls since 276 of them were kidnapped at gunpoint from their boarding school in Chibok in Borno, northeast Nigeria. This was back in April 14, 2014. At least 57 girls were able to escape soon after their abduction, but more than 200 of the abducted girls remain missing. The eyewitness, Abuku Gaji, told CNN that she was participating in a nightly patrol with the Civilian Joint Task Force, a vigilante group set up to help fight Boko Haram, on the edge of the Sambisa forest when the girl and some companions wandered out at about 7 p.m. He said her name was Amina Ali Nkeki, and he rescued her as one of the missing schoolgirls, although she looked different and in poor physical condition. Their bodies didn't look good. They had no bath and were in dirty condition. The young woman was part of a group asking for help, including a man who identified himself as her husband and the father of her baby. The man said that he had been kidnapped by Boko Haram from the town of Mubi, taken to Sambisa Forest, and married in Kiki. This is horrible, guys. Okay, so the army wants credit for rescuing the young woman. The Nigerian government and many army disputed the account, giving a different name for the girl and saying she was rescued by government troops, although confirming that they were referring to the same incident. Colonel Sani Kukashiki Usman, acting director of Army Public Relations, said the girl's name was Falamata Mbalala, and she had been rescued by government troops at Bali near Damboa, an account backed up by the country's information minister, Lay Mohammed. I'm lucky, I'm very fortunate I was able to get to these names, because this could be a Steve Harvey moment right here. You know Steve Harvey's skit Saturday Night Live, trying to read the tough names. All right, so let me just put this based on what I'm seeing, all right? It looks like the young lady has been rescued. I believe the effects or the facts as they are displayed from the witnesses who say the child walked out. Her husband and baby and other people walked out of the forest. No one went in and got her. She walked out of this densely packed forest. If they were looking in this forest, maybe they would have found Boko Haram and maybe the other 200 plus young women, and sounds like men as well, who've been kidnapped by Boko Haram. I think the military is a joke, and I don't think the military is doing its job. I don't know if they're capable of doing their job. I don't know if they're getting paid off not to do their job. All I know is I believe that this young woman walked out of the forest, the Sambisa forest. You know, the Army's trying to take credit for something they didn't do. So I guess in that way, they're not too different from our Army officials at the top as well who do the same type of crap. We have our own military blunderers, and people always jumping in to take credit for something they didn't do. Sort of like Hillary Clinton with the $15 an hour. But we're going to get to that a little bit later. So let me see if I can wrap this up and put a bow on it for you folks. I'm looking at pictures of kidnapped young women. This is horrible. Let me get a statement from the vice chairman of Chibok Association Abuja, told CNN that urgent action was needed to recover the girls. It's now left to the government to act as quickly as possible, and we are calling for international leaders to act. So they want the government to go in, and they want the military to go in now. These people came out. They can tell you where the people are. Go in and go get the people. Yeah, go get them now, like immediately. We'll see. And as far as international attention to it, hey man, do you have resources that we want? Which is really what it comes down to when we're talking about international interdiction, right? Interference. It's got to be something in it for us. So that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is, and I'll never feel comfortable with that, but that's just the reality. And you know what? This is why you watch independent media, because that's the truth. I hate to bust any bubbles of any people out there who are, but we're a great country and we do great things. Yeah. But always for a reason. Okay? Always for a reason. We're like that guy who helps you with your bags. You know, the young kid that helps you with their bags, but then there's the Ralph, you know. And we want more than that. We want your whole country. We want to put you in debt for 20, 30 years if possible. So, anyway, I'm going to leave it there. There we go. Boko Haram, one of the young women that were kidnapped is returned and escapes, which is what this should say. Escapes. Not recovered. Recover would mean you went in and got her. All right. And not released either. Listen, the chat goes on. The chat goes on to this show forever. Like if you watch a show and you want to just keep talking and keep a conversation going, you're welcome to do so on this chat. Okay? Come to IamTimBlack.com and join into the chat room. Join the chat, the discussion with people who are, accommodating. Like, we don't really have a problem with, I don't want to say it because they appear. Trolls. We don't have a lot of those. So it's a good chat to join, guys. I invite you to come over to IamTimBlack.com and go to the YouTube channel, subscribe there, but also join the chat conversation. Oh, guys, you know what I need from you? I need you to go and follow me on Twitter. If you got a Twitter account, you're not following me, I got a problem with that. It doesn't make sense. I got an account. You got an account. Let's co-account.